with Sean Ryan. Also going to chat with Peyton Ferris and a lot more. So yeah, we are having some issues. I get it. We'll just bear with us. Internet problems. Hey, there's so many people at home now working, schooling. You're gonna, I'm sure Spectrum Internet is just overwhelmed across the state, depending on what internet service you have. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's get started. The Olympics are postponed. That is the plan, and according to IOC President Dick Pound, which is just fun. The Summer Games in Tokyo will be postponed and or canceled as a result of COVID-19. Dick Pound, the International Olympic Committee member, said that the games will likely be pushed back to 2021, and a plan will be put in place on how to proceed in the next 4 weeks. Pound told USA Today, quote, "On the basis of the information the IOC has, postponement has been decided. The parameters going forward have not been determined, but the games are not going to start on July 24th. That much I know. We will postpone this and begin to deal with the ramifications moving this, which are immense," end quote. As you can imagine, there are some upset people, including IOC Vice President Anita DeFrance, who said she hadn't heard anything about the postponement. But it's going to happen. There's just no doubt about it. Japan doesn't want it to happen, but it's going to happen. You're not going to have the Olympics. And this comes after Canada and Australia announced over the weekend that they would not be sending athletes to the games if they happen. The United States Swim Federation, track and field and swimming federations both called for the postponement of the Olympics. USA Swimming Chief Exec Tim Hinchy requested the Olympics be pushed back a year in order to minimize risk and to cater to the needs of the athletes involved. It makes sense, right? I mean, this has to happen. The Olympics cannot go on the way we're going with all of this. We already know the NBA is suspended. NHL, MLS, MLB, they're all suspended right now. So it's just a matter of time before the Olympics are going to get postponed to next year, officially. And we're sitting here wondering, is the NFL next? What about college football? And you think about, well, that's not till September. A lot of teams open up fall camp the end of July, first part of August. I know it's still a few months away, but given everything with this COVID-19 and the way it's progressing, I don't know. And that's just, we've talked about this ad nauseum. We don't know. But the Olympics are going to be postponed, and that's till July 24th. Well, that's when some camps open up in college football. Of course, NFL with OTAs and workouts. You've got exhibition games in August for the NFL. College football games in August. September 5th is the big opening weekend, but there's games before that. So that's my question. Are the NFL and college football next to be postponed? And I know we're a long way off. I get it. But we're really not that far off when you look at it in the grand scheme of things. So it's just something to keep an eye on. Okay, as we move forward, it's just something to keep an eye on. But if the Olympics, the world's biggest athletic event, every 4 years, and every 2 years really, you got every 4 years for the summer and winter, but they rotate. So it's just interesting to keep watching this. And of course, the more times we get to say IOC board member Dick Pound, how fun is that? It's going to happen, though. The Olympics are going to be postponed for sure. And yet we're sitting here, the world's biggest country club. And yes, there are some social distancing things right now, but make sure you get to Green Meadow Country Club Call right at this point, tell them you heard it or saw it on the Jason Walker Show. And hey, buddy, Coulter Hamill just joined in, former kicker at Carroll College. Hope you're doing well, Coulter. Anyway, tell them you heard or saw it on the Jason Walker Show, Green Meadow Country Club. They'll get you signed up. Golf is going to be one of those things that we're going to get to do because it's great social distancing. And by the way, you can do takeout, Green Meadow Country Club, if you're a member. Just call ahead, curbside delivery, and go from there. But get signed up. Everything will go away. Everything will be back to normal soon. So you need to get signed up at Green Meadow Country Club, a proud sponsor of the Jason Walker Show. Peyton Ferris, when we come back next.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Spring is fast approaching and summer is just around the corner, so now is the time to get those windows tinted at Auto Concepts as the sun starts to heat up. Tinting is the best way to keep the sun out of your little one's eyes driving down the road. Plus, it just looks cool. Auto Concepts is your exclusive 3M dealer for tinting as well as the best clear bras in town. Auto Concepts clear bras will not fade or yellow over time. And don't forget about suspension lifts and power steps for your rig too. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com or check them out on Facebook. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of the Jason Walker Show. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. Here on a Monday, having some issues with the internet, so we're trying to get Peyton Ferris connected here. Hopefully we'll be talking to Sean Ryan of Montana Tech, too. Moving forward. And on this day in history still to come, get your nominations in for Auto Concepts Performance of the Week. And it can be from your home, it can be from your kids, it can be from you, it can be from your neighbors. It could be literally anything at this point because we have no sports going on. And we're trying to connect to the board so that we don't have to hold this phone up to the speaker. And have Peyton, I know she's listening, hanging out on the phone, just waiting. As we're having all sorts of problems here. Man, oh man. Internet, it's fun, right? Technology is great when it works, right? Yeah. I know our internet is having all sorts of issues right now. Peyton, I know you're listening. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to try calling you back here in a second, okay? And we'll try to get this board working. And we'll give Peyton a call back here in a sec. We'll get Peyton Ferris on, hopefully, as we try to get things going here. Nothing is connecting. Oh, man, this is fun stuff. Live radio, television, whatever it's called. This is so good. So good. Try our settings here again. Bluetooth. Hey, are you connecting now? How about that? How about that? All right, let's try Peyton back. All right. Man, oh, man. It's almost like we've done this before. I promise. All right, there's the phone ringing. That's a good sign.
Hello.
Hi, Peyton. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. Now that we're connected, we are live. We're having a good time. It's a pleasure to talk with you, first of all. Okay, so you were watching that first segment. I have to know, as we welcome in Peyton Ferris, where was it 40 or 41 you scored, and was it in the consolation or the state championship game?
It was a state championship game, and it was 40-something. What I do know is it was 3 points short of what I would wanted it to be, so kind of a heartbreaker. But
that's right.
We lost the game by 3, so... But yeah, I don't remember the exacts. I think 40 something.
I thought it was 41. But there was a couple of, because I just saw it on my memories on Facebook the other day, there was a couple of others that scored high points that night, both that were coming to Montana State. I think Jasmine Hamas had a huge game that night and in high school. And
DJ Reinhardt was another one that had high score.
Yep.
That's who I remember that night. And then later, Jill Barta also was up in the 40s there.
Yep, that's
but
right.
That was the next year, I think. But, no, yeah, that night lots of people were lighting it up.
Peyton Ferris joining us here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, before we talk about your history at MSU and Twin Bridges and all of that, you are just back from Spain from playing overseas professionally, which is very cool, first of all. But you're basically, are you still in self-quarantine right now?
Yes, I'm still technically on day 7 or 8, I think. I have until the 29th. So I got back last week on Monday officially after going through the airport. And so, yeah, I'm in my room as much as possible. Luckily, though, we live in a house where I'm kind of in the down bottom part of our house. So I have my own bathroom across my room from me. And, if I have to go to the kitchen, it's immediately washing my hands, wearing my face mask, and just kind of, I haven't walked around the house, like in the kitchen if I have to get food or something, without a Lysol wiping my hands. So my hands are actually pretty dried out. So just kind of ready for all this to be over with. But better safe than sorry. I talked to a friend from Spain earlier, and, they're on just finishing their first week of quarantine, and there's cases popping up. And a friend's dad just had to go to the hospital and got diagnosed with it. So it's like, I don't know exactly how early or when, if I was exposed to it. You just never know, and that's the craziest part about this whole situation.
You haven't had any symptoms, though, right? Or have you?
I have not had any symptoms. The more I was last month, about halfway through February, I had some issues, some phlegm, pretty heavy phlegm built up in my lungs, and there was one night that I woke up kind of feeling like I was, couldn't breathe, and I woke up and coughed it out and went to the doctor that next day, but it was still before, we were still watching Italy's case progress, but, in Spain, we still it wasn't on the radar to start taking it seriously. So I didn't have a fever. He gave me some medicine and sent me home, and, I said I could keep practicing because I wasn't contagious, and we went with that. So it's just crazy that, I don't know if that was, those were the symptoms for that, and if I had it or what, but nobody else on my team has gotten sick. But yeah, it's just the crazy thing is you don't actually know for sure.
Well, and as Peyton Ferris joining us here on the Jason Walker Show, you also obviously were in contact with a lot of other people, and you're a big advocate about, because I've seen your posts, keep your butts at home, stay inside, do what you're being told, because this is serious. You were just in Spain, and like you said, watching Italy. How shocked were you with how fast everything developed?
Super shocked, and that's what the craziest part is coming home is I watched things progress so fast in Spain, and then, before I left on my airport adventure to try to get back to the States, there wasn't, any cases in Montana, and then all of a sudden before I even landed and got home, in that matter of time, there's some cases, and watching people's Facebook posts and their attitudes about it, it was just like, oh no, like here we go again. Like I told people, it was like Marty McFly from Back to the Future. It's like you go back in time and you see all these things happen and you're trying to warn people, but people don't see it. And as sometimes in America, we get so caught up in just kind of our own bubble. And so it's happening across on the other side of the world where I just came from. And so trying to talk to people about it, it was, hearing all their theories about, people have the right to their beliefs and stuff, but it just progressed so fast. Like I said 2 weeks ago, I was, living a normal life. When the first case in Spain popped up, it was in Tenerife, which is an island in Spain. And then 2 weeks ago, that Wednesday, which I tried to explain on my Facebook Live video, which I don't know if I explained, I kind of stuttered through that. But that Wednesday, there was a case in Madrid in a community called Porzuelo. And that Saturday, we had to go play against the team in Porzuelo. And so, that was the 8th case confirmed in Spain and in a place we were just going, but we were all we weren't taking it seriously. We didn't know that it was actually as serious as it was. And we were making jokes like, oh, is someone going to come out with a, sports mask, for the COVID-19 and just joking about it. And then, fast tracking to last week, we got, schools in Madrid started shutting down that Monday, and it was a week after that. And people weren't, we didn't know that it was going to progress to what it did. And so Madrid started shutting down that Monday. Basque Country schools where I'm at, started shutting down that Thursday and everything. And then by Wednesday, it was by Friday, after a team meeting, it was a state of emergency, and everyone was trying to get in place to prepare for the lockdown.
That's just crazy. As Peyton Ferris joining us here, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. And I think that's why I reached out to you. First off, it's great you're playing overseas, and I want to talk about that here in a second, but because you were on the front line overseas where this started, and then, like I said, you get home and it's the same thing. So what can you say to people that aren't taking this as serious? I mean, because you've seen it now in 2 different countries.
Yes, and from, what I've seen in Spain and Italy's numbers, the other day they just had like 600 deaths or something a night, somewhere I read. I don't have contacts in Italy, so I can't really confirm the Italy stuff, but in Spain, my teammate, she's a nurse in the off season, so, right after we found out our season was over, she got called in and started working right away. And talking to her, she just says that everyone went on house quarantine, and that's when you either find out you have symptoms and you find out if you need hospital treatment or not, or if everyone's listening in a perfect world, after 2 weeks, your symptoms are out of your system, or they're supposed to be.
Right.
So just seeing that and, talking to my friends that now their family members just got hit with the COVID virus, and they wouldn't have they would just be out in the town, and even if their dad's sick, they would still probably be hanging out with friends if it wasn't a lockdown situation. So, it sounds like China's, getting it under control after they went on lockdown. Italy, they're slowing their numbers. But in a perfect world, just coming back, it's like the symptoms last 2 weeks, or they're supposed to only last 2 weeks. In a perfect world, everyone stay home, avoid contact. You find out if you need hospital treatment or not, which hopefully it's not all at once and our hospitals aren't getting slammed. But after 2 weeks, it's like you just self-quarantine yourself. So in 2 weeks, get it under control. And then after that, we can go with the next steps. Obviously, coming out of this, it's hard to get a whole country, especially in the United States, because, Spain, I looked it up once. I think Montana isn't, like, land mass-wise, isn't that much smaller than the whole country of Spain. But Spain obviously has a lot more people. But their borders are easier to lock down than the country of the United States. And so, coming out of this, I think Montana, we're one of the best states we're most prepared for this. A lot of people live out of town anyway, and if people just stay home for 2 weeks and get rid of the symptoms and do their part, then we can go with the next step, and hopefully the rest of the country isn't far behind us, and that's all we can do for the moment being, I think.
Peyton Ferris joining us here at Jason Walker Show. I love your perspective on this because, like I said, you've seen it on both sides of the pond now. All right, let's talk about something positive. I know your season got suspended or canceled, but you were starting off on a pretty good career over there in Spain. What's the name of the team you're playing on?
It's a team in Galdacao, which is right outside of Bilbao, and we're called Ibaizabal.
Ibaizabal.
It's named after the river there. So, yeah, Basque, so it's a Basque word. And so, yeah, Ibaizabal. It's in Basque country, they have their own language, but it's one of the first languages in the world. They don't know where it came from, and it was here before Latin. So
wow.
It's kind of a whole new, it's pretty interesting.
Do you know any of it?
I started because I went to Spanish class because I wanted to be able to communicate with my coach and around the town and people better. It just made things a whole lot easier. And the class I was in last year for an hour on one day. They had Basque class too. So I started learning and I learned the basics, but it's super hard. The sentence structure is different. There's not really direct translations. Like if you say a sentence, instead of like converting it Spanish to English, when you convert it to Basque, you're more describing it almost, is kind of a good way to put it.
Wow.
And so I know the colors, I know the days of the week, things like that. I can say, and hi, and my name is Peyton, things like that, but nothing past the basics.
That's crazy. Did you have fun over there, though?
Yeah, it's been a blast. It's just crazy to think that after my last game at college, I was a little beat up. I didn't know if I was going to continue, but once I got over there and saw what the load managements were and, within our league, all that, it's been doable for 3 years now, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
That is just awesome. And as Peyton Ferris joining us here, Jason Walker Show, because you were beat up in college a little bit. And, I feel like you were one of those that was there for like 10 years because it felt like you never left Montana State. But what's the biggest difference between college basketball in America and then pro basketball in Spain?
There's both pros and cons. College basketball, it's an experience that, playing in front of, for example, Cat Grizz, the amount of people you get to come to the games, just kind of the environment of the games is a little bit more electrified. Now you're playing overseas and you get games that get good crowds, but then sometimes, some that maybe might not get as good crowds. And, but you're playing at a high level over there. And, so it's a good deal in our league. I'm in the top tier, but there's there's two levels. So there's LF1 and LF2. So LF1 is like the league with the WNBA players and the top league, and then so I'm just right there in LF2. So the difference between that is LF1 would probably have more of the weight with it, that's similar to college basketball, where you're just pounding all the time, 2 games a week, and the grind is a lot more intense. Whereas the league I'm in, it's still super competitive. We're right below there, and but we play 1 game a week, so you have time to kind of better manage your body, and our coach is super good about that. So that's why I'm really happy in the place I'm at too, is because I'm able to keep my body as good as possible and be able to play more how I want to play and not let the injuries dictate that area of things.
Peyton Ferris, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. Did you talk to Katie Bussey at all about what it was like to play overseas before you went over?
Yeah, Katie Bussey was a huge help coming in, kind of just talking to her and asking about, when you're trying to sign with an agent, also what the load managements are over there. She kind of made me more confident and that, okay, this is something that I might as well give a try because it's something I can possibly do. So, yeah, keeping in contact with Katie Bussey. I still, have to call and keep in contact with her once in a while. She's over, I believe, I want to say the Netherlands right now. I don't know.
I think that's right still, yeah.
Coming in my head. But, because, we have players in our LF1 league or even in LF2 that are from there, and they actually know her too. So it's funny how small the basketball world actually gets.
Definitely. Peyton Ferris joining us here. A couple final questions for you, but you come from a family that's very athletic, from siblings to cousins to parents and uncles and aunts. I mean, is this the most athletic family in the state of Montana, the Ferris family?
We're all pretty athletic, and I think the biggest part, which I take a lot of pride in our family, is whatever sport we do or whatever sport we watch together. It's not only watching the sport and like arguing about teams or whatever. It's watching the sport, and we're so concept driven. So we have a lot of, I think a big reason of why we're good at the sports is because from a younger age we weren't only just watching the sports. We were talking strategies and what different teams just their strategical plans and what we see, and comparing each other's opinions and perspectives. It's helped out a lot, and it's obviously showed in our athletic careers.
Yeah, you guys have had, seriously, the Ferris family is amazing athletically, and it's been a pleasure to watch all the Ferrises come through. How cool was it for Twin Bridges to make the state tournament on the boys' side, even though they didn't get a chance to finish it?
That's awesome. Actually, some of them, when I'm here in the summers, I see them in the gym too, and just kind of able. When I'm working on my things, I saw a lot of them working on theirs, and I remember kind of one time they were kind of goofing off at me and serious, and I kind of just looked at them and I said, pointed to the 09 state championship banner that the Twin Bridges boys won, and I kind of just looked at them. I said, "Do you guys realize like what you have here?" And got after them, and so I'm super proud of that. That was a goal they had, and that they actually went and were driven and accomplished it. And yeah, it's a heartbreak that it got cut short and they couldn't go pursue their goal they had set since the beginning of last summer.
All right, I got to know this. This year's Montana State women's team, 19-1 in the Big Sky. Compare this year's team to your best team when you played at Montana State. Who wins?
Ooh, there's some overlap players there, so that's very hard. But, this team watching Montana State, I didn't get to see a ton of games, but I played some open gym with them last year, and I did catch a few games in Cat Grizz, and just, what amazing athletes and amazing team. Darian White last summer, I remember after playing open gym with him, I walked into Coach Binford's office, and I said, oh, my gosh, like, what a point guard she is. And then Fallon, obviously I played against her from North Dakota, and she just came in, and I give a lot of props to her because sometimes when I was there, I think some people, especially the freshmen who were there, they were kind of like, oh my gosh, like Peyton is off the court, she's joking around and everything's happy, and as soon as we step on the court, it's like everyone, it's just a totally different person. But Fallon was just super driven and had a goal set and was going to do anything to accomplish that goal. And, once you have leaders in there like that and, are so determined and it's your last year, it's more about getting that championship than trying to please everybody. Then, yeah, you actually get surprised that when you go in there and you're so motivated and sometimes you're too hard on people, but you will still walk away with the same friends because everyone wants that goal. And if you show them as much as as bad as you want it, then they come on board with you. So, yeah, what two great teams and two great groups that I was really gunning for them. I knew that they were going to win the conference, and then I think they were even going to go in a good seed and win a March Madness tournament. So I'm really disappointed and heartbroken that we didn't get to see that happen.
I think so too. Because you got to play with, if you had played with you and Claire Lundberg, and then also if you put Fallon on your team instead of playing against her, I mean, you guys could have just demolished people.
Yeah, I mean, both teams, what's fortunate about both teams on there is there's athletes that are all just good basketball players. Sometimes, my team in Spain showed this last season is you don't need the biggest money players sometimes you just need the ones that set their mind to it and are going to do the work. I'll never forget our first conditioning workout. When I stayed home in the summer, the team wasn't required to be there. So it was me and Blair, Madeline, and Oli were freshmen. And I remember going in there and they started doing things and I was a little hard on them, but I looked at them straight in the face and I said, yeah, you guys, it says freshmen on your roster, but you guys aren't allowed to be freshmen. And so once you get players like that with their attitudes, like they could have just broke and walked away, but they bought into it. And it's like the people like that and the personalities are what make championship teams, not necessarily, the best talent, but Claire Lundberg, Fallon Frege, but if you put it in Riley Norgard, players like that, Delaney Junkbrand, if you put together a super team that had all bases covered, we would be quite a dangerous team.
Yeah, that would have been a fun an all-star team of Montana State women. And it's just, you go back over the years, Cass Bauer, and then, obviously Erica Perry, Katie Bussey, the ones that I know, and when I did the announcing there, you guys, Jasmine Thomas, there's just, the list goes on and on, how many great women's basketball players have come through Bozeman, and you're one of those fan favorites as well. Peyton Ferris, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. Peyton, we appreciate the time, and hopefully your quarantine, you turn out all right, and hopefully we can talk to you about more professional basketball soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Peyton Ferris, thank you so much joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, and that was a lot of fun. She was it's just great to get that perspective from Peyton, because she was in Spain recently, as a couple of weeks ago, and then came back. And like she said, how crazy, how fast it moved in Spain. She comes home and just days later sees again it going that way in Montana and the United States. And appreciate Peyton joining us. What a great conversation, and just a smart young lady, and wish her the best. I got to watch her a lot at Montana State, and she was an absolute star. And man, what a great career she had in college and continues now overseas. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk some golf, because there's not going to be a golf season collegiately in the Frontier Conference. And we'll explain that. We'll talk to Sean Ryan, the golf coach at Montana Tech. Had some great studs and set up for a great year, and boom, it went away. But we'll talk to him next. And also on this day in history, still to come, and a whole lot more. Jason Walker Show, support comes from Manscaped. And we've been talking about Manscaped for a while. And this is just something you have to believe in, like I do. And Manscaped.com has been so good to the Jason Walker Show. We want you to go out and be good to them. Get the Lawnmower 3.0. It's got advanced skin-safe technology. The battery lasts up to 90 minutes. You can take a longer shave. It's waterproof. And one of the coolest new features is the LED light, which illuminates grooming areas for a closer, more precise trim. They've also upgraded to a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology. Quarantines aren't going to last forever, guys. You got to look good when you come out. Get 20% off and free shipping. Use the code WALKER20 at manscaped.com. And it's, as always, get trimmed up. Your buddies are going to thank you. 20% off, free shipping. Use the code WALKER20 at manscaped.com. That is 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code WALKER20. Coming right back, this last segment brought to you by Ruckers Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Ruckers
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com. Spring is fast approaching and summer is just around the corner, so now is the time to get those windows tinted at Auto Concepts as the sun starts to heat up. Tinting is the best way to keep the sun out of your little one's eyes driving down the road. Plus, it just looks cool. Auto Concepts is your exclusive 3M dealer for tinting as well as the best clear bras in town. Auto Concepts clear bras will not fade or yellow over time. And don't forget about suspension lifts and power steps for your rig too. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com or check them out on Facebook. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Major Mortgage Man Cave on a Monday. Jason Walker Show. Make sure you get a hold of Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. Mike, all of our guests appear courtesy of the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Give him a call in Helena today for all your home and auto insurance needs. Had a great conversation with Peyton Ferris a little bit earlier. And if you missed anything today or anytime, go to the Jason Walker webpage. It is jasonwalkershow.com. You can listen to today's interview with Peyton Ferris or anything from last week or previous weeks going back to December. You can visit our sponsor pages, and you can also, if you missed this interview, listen to it now or later. But we welcome in our next guest on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. His name is Sean Ryan. He is the golf coach at Montana Tech. You've been officially the golf coach for about a year. How hard has it been, or how strange has it been for you moving into that role?
You know, it's been a really it's been a strange couple of years. You know, last year I got thrown into the fire, with passing Lee LeBrecht, and then this year gearing up for the spring season, and then all this kind of craziness happened. So there is no spring season. So it's the job is ever changing, as I'm figuring out.
Hey, Sean, how hard was it to tell the team I guess it was last week when the Frontier officially canceled the spring season. Like, we're not going to any Frontier championships. We're not going to be golfing in any tournaments. Your season's done.
It was really tough, especially for some of the older players, not knowing what the eligibility is going to be like going forward.
Yeah.
But especially very tough with the seniors. Senior out of Townsend, Lindsay Dexter. That's a hard conversation to have. That was a tough phone call because, being around Lindsay the last 4 years, you see her grow and become a really great young woman, and then to have it all kind of fade away instantly was really, really something.
Sean Ryan, our guest here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, the Montana Tech golf coach. You do have a bunch of youngsters coming in next summer, I guess in the summer, but what are you telling the guys and gals that are on the team currently, and we'll talk about the freshmen coming in a second, but about how to stay fresh and how to stay mentally fresh? Because, like you said, we just lost our season. Now we've got to focus on the summer tournaments, hopefully, and getting ready for a fall season again, hopefully.
Yeah, it was really it was challenging because my guys and my girls they were in the simulator. I think I totaled probably like 70 or 80 hours over the last couple of months down at the Big Country Club, and they were getting reps in. We have guys going in shooting really good rounds in the simulator, getting ready, and really kind of tuning up for the spring season. And it's no longer there. So it was challenging. It was difficult. But I think one thing that they're able to do is, now that we're not holding, in-person classes here at Tech or any university in Montana, is, hey, there's a lot of restraints on what you can't do. What you can do is play golf. So a lot of them have already sent me scores from being out on the golf course because, you can only do homework for so many hours a day.
Well, that's exactly right. They still have to, but what's the biggest difference as a golf coach? Because now, you're used to checking up on making sure, A, they're going to class, and obviously you got to keep track of their grades, but this is different now because everything's online. So how hard is it, or is it easier to keep track of your golfers?
It's not as easy because, I quote it this way, school is 50% about showing up. And I always thought online classes were more difficult because you have to prove what you're learning so much more often. But I had a really good group of kids. I got 16 kids that are pretty on the ball. We had a combined GPA, men's and women's, of like 3.6 this year.
Wow.
And we've got kids going into mechanical engineering and electrical engineering, and, they open up a book and I'm like, oh, what are you working on? And I don't know what language it's in. So I'm really lucky that way. But a lot of it is, hey, make sure you set aside the time to put your work in, whether that work be on the golf course or in the classroom or maybe, at your desk. Remove the distractions and make sure that your academics come first, because there's nothing else that you really need to focus on right now than staying healthy and staying on top of it.
Tech golf coach Sean Ryan, our guest here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, recruiting. You get your first real full season. I mean, you recruited a lot, the last few years, but as the head guy, how much did that affect your recruiting? Because it seemed like for a while, Sean, every time I turned around, you were signing one or two new golfers.
Yeah, I put a lot of miles on, so that was quite
well, you're
fun.
Used to that.
And it was nice, too, because, I got so many friends around the state that it was a chance to run into people that I haven't seen in a year or two. But I thought it was really important to get out there, make it visible that Montana Tech wants the best golfers in this state and beyond to come to school here, right? And be student athletes at a great school with an up-and-coming golf program that I think, we're really starting to build for the future. But went out and signed 6 kids. So it was really exciting, 5 boys, 1 girl. And it just, I think recruiting kind of fit my style or my demeanor. A little bit almost instantly. I like talking to people and I like visiting with people, and if you can sell a good product, and a great product is what Montana Tech has to offer as a school, then getting kids to come and swing the sticks for you isn't too difficult, because they say, hey, wait, I can get a scholarship to play golf and go to a school where you have the best return on investment and all those things. So it's been really fun. It's been a great experience, and sure learned a lot over the last year and a half.
I bet you have. You got Sean Benson on your staff. He's had a pretty good career at Montana Tech. What's been cool about transitioning him from golfer, student athlete to assistant coach?
Well, the nice thing is he can help me a little bit, make sure that I steal his time as equally as the players do. But the nice thing is Sean's been there and he's done that, and he's taken some of our guys and some of our girls under his wing and said, hey, when you're coming down the stretch and you're trying to close out a tournament, this is what your mindset should be. And really getting them to elevate their game so that they can bring it to that next level. It's playing really good, high quality golf. It's not always going to be there. So some of the lessons that he's imparted and that I've had to impart on the younger kids is, hey, you might not have had your best day today, but what strokes did you save that you didn't think you were going to get? So that's been really helpful.
Sean Ryan joining us here, Jason Walker Show. A few final questions for you. All right, so how much on the simulator do you get to play in the winter when you're coaching, quote unquote, the kids?
Yeah, I got a pretty good deal. I play in the simulator league down here. We were about ready to make a run, and then the season got canceled.
Ours did too.
So I'll have to settle with whatever shop credit I was able to accrue. But yeah, I really enjoy the opportunity to get in and swing and work with our kids. And we've got our golf room here that is a really good facility for a program of our size. We've got a lot of putting green space here at the Hyper, and then we've also got the ability to hit shots on a sky track and things like that, so that if you want to just walk across the street, you can get feedback.
Nice.
But I wish I would play more simulator league golf, but I'm kind of an old hacker now, so I just gotta,
you're one of those that you're just so good. You're like Ben McIntyre up at Carroll. You're just so good. You guys don't need to really practice. You just go out and shoot par or under every time. So,
well, I wish. I just got some brand new golf clubs in there. I have yet to swing them, and they keep staring at me from the corner of the room.
So what do you play?
I just got a brand new set of Callaway irons.
Nice.
So I'm excited to kind of get those. I've been looking at them for a long time, and finally,
pull the trigger.
Everybody else swing new clubs. I was like, you know what? I'm going to spoil myself.
So did you get a new driver with it?
Fiance.
That's right. That? Did you get a new driver, or just the irons?
I got a new driver. I got one last year. I think. Sometimes you like to think that you need to blame the club, but sometimes it's the operator.
Well, I can attest to that. You mentioned your fiance. You just got engaged. You did a public engagement at Montana Tech. How nerve-wracking was that for you?
It was great. So it was at the Butte Civic Center. I just picked a generic basketball court, and I told my fiance that I had to go ref a basketball game, because I've been in MOA for about 8 years now and love it and live for it. Keeps you busy in the winter. And, I told her I had to go ref a game, and she's like, okay. And I was like, well, you should come with me. She goes, oh, okay. And we get there. She goes, boy, there's no cars in the parking lot. I go, I know. We're here early because the guy I'm working with, he's a little nervous. And she goes, okay.
Oh.
And as we walk in, it was a little bit Endless Love with Happy Gilmore.
You did not.
We walked onto the court, and the lights kick out, and there's a spotlight on half court. It was great. My good friend Bill Melvin, who runs the Civic Center, was running the spotlight. It was one of those things where I earned some points, so I was happy.
So the only thing missing,
that was the most important thing.
The only thing missing would have been Bill sitting in the Zamboni singing "Endless Love," lip syncing it like in the movie.
Right. That's the next step, but we just couldn't quite get on key. So.
Oh man! Hey, you mentioned simulator league. So the wife and we were in our simulator league, and we were making a run, and I think we got to the quarterfinals, maybe even the semifinals. And I think we would have been playing Club Pro Chad Carlson. You know Chad real well, and I think,
oh yeah,
I think Chad had something to do with COVID-19 because we were going to beat him and his partner, and I think he postponed the league on purpose.
You know, those things wouldn't surprise me. Kind of the same deal. One of my golfers, Isaiah Weldon, works with the country club, and he kept pushing back the day that they were supposed to play us, he and his partner.
Oh.
And it's actually my assistant, Luke Schulte, and I are partners.
Okay.
And we kept saying, like, boy, we kind of want to see if we can advance. And he's like, well, I got to do this. I got to do this. I go, okay, man. Well, and then this happened. So nobody got bragging rights, but I know I got my round in and he didn't. So
there you go. Yeah, the wife and I were making a run, and social distancing. Golf is a great thing for social distancing because you don't have to. You're supposed to shake hands, but you can do the fist bump at the end of your round. You can elbow or whatever. I thought, hey, let's just touch our putters together.
Yeah, there you go. I'm really anxious to get out on the golf course. We've had a couple of days where it's 60 degrees, and I'm looking and the sun's shining and I'm going, man, I got to get out there. So I'm anxious.
Okay, we have to make it happen this summer because 2 years ago when you were doing Montana's Longest Drive, or 3 years ago, we didn't get a chance to meet up because it was rainy. You played in Helena in 3 days of rain.
Yeah.
But we have to get out this summer because I can come down to Butte with the Reciprocity with Green Meadow. You can come up here. I mean, we have to make this happen this year.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Now that the world is spinning a little bit less with knowing what's going on with recruiting, all those fun things. It's nice, I've been able to kind of settle into the golf coach role and loving every minute of it. And now I get to plan my schedule on what big tournaments I want to go to and who I want to see. So,
hey, what's your dream foursome?
Man, I've always thought about that. I think first, I think I've got to go Tiger Woods, obviously. He's my favorite golfer of all time. Then I might go Tiger Woods. I might go Bill Murray.
Okay.
Because I've always been a big Bill Murray fan. He's an avid golfer.
Right.
And then maybe Michael Jordan, because I would love to see how much Michael gambles on the golf course, right? Like there's no gambling at Bushwood, sir, but Michael Jordan thinks differently.
Right.
I just think that'd be a great crew, and I don't know. That's one of those questions that I always tinker with because I'm going, God, so many people I'd love to play golf with.
You make it a fivesome. You put Jason Walker on that list.
There we go. We would have just a little bit of fun, and there'd be just a few stories coming out of that.
Oh man, I'm sure. Hey, before I let you go, and I got to know where are we at with Montana's Longest Drive, because you were putting together the book. So are we close to that, or where are we at?
Well, I'm suddenly finding more and more time on my hands because
True.
I can't go socialize like I like to. So trying to plug away on the book now that I've got a little more free time.
Nice.
And everything. I think the hardest part about writing this book is there's so many stories, and there's so many pieces that you don't want to leave out, that I don't want it to end up being 600 pages long. So it's trying to find the stories and tell the overall story arc of everything that happened, and all the places you visit and all the people that you met. And I'm plugging away.
Yes. Well, that's good. Hey, when's the wedding?
Wedding, okay. July 10 of 2021.
Perfect.
I found a weekend that was hopefully free of all scrambles and things that I'm supposed to play in.
Well, you can't schedule it from like April to September, man, because that's prime golf season.
I know, but my thought is it's going to be like an hour ceremony. I could obviously play in the morning.
Well, there you go. And you got to pick somewhere for the honeymoon where you can go play golf.
Right. That's play golf, and I just bought her clubs about six or 7 months ago, maybe in September.
Nice.
So I'm trying to teach her how to play golf. So this might be the shortest marriage on record.
Oh, jeez. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, my man. Hey, congratulations on the engagement and the success that you've had so far at Montana Tech. I know it's going to go even further. I have an idea real quick for your book. When you get it written, I will when you do the audiobook, let me voice it over.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, I could do that.
That'd be sweet.
It might be
Now I need
weird
to
though
get the
because
ring.
I'd have to be talking as you. So,
True.
but I could still voice it.
These are all things that we can,
Figure out
Just
on the golf
details.
course with Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Can I bring
absolutely.
Phil? Can I bring Lefty though?
You could. I just wonder if he and Tiger would bicker.
Well,
You
you know
know,
they would.
The
but-
whole duel thing.
yeah.
But
Phil's a better golfer though.
oh my God,
See, we're gonna have fun golfing together.
awesome.
Hey man, appreciate the time. We went long, but it's cool to just check up and catch up with you. And take care, stay safe. Let's get golfing this summer. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We got to make it happen this year.
Awesome. Well, let's find fairway.
All right, there you go. Sean Ryan joining us. Thanks, my man. That is Sean Ryan on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Appreciate his time. And we're probably going to lose some viewers here because I think Garth is just going live now on Inside Studio G with his live concert, acoustic concert. But we're going to get to our, let's see. Let's do our On This Day in History, which is brought to you by the Motherlode Sports Bar, Casino, and Restaurant. The Motherlode, Dinner's Done Right, Green Meadow, Cafe Zydeco. Our sponsors, all takeout, curbside delivery. Get a hold of all of our food sponsors. Help them right now in this time, okay? Today is National Chia Day. It is National Chip and Dip Day, National Near Miss Day, and National Puppy Day. So there you go. 1946, the 8th Men's Basketball Championship. Oklahoma State beat North Carolina 43-40. Cowboys go back-to-back. In 1948, the 10th championship, Kentucky won its first title, beating Baylor 58-42. Wilt Chamberlain of Kansas was the 4th player to be named National Tournament Most Outstanding Player in a loss. 1957, at the 19th championship, North Carolina beat Kansas in 3 overtimes, 54-53. The 25th title game in 1963, Loyola Chicago won its first title. The Ramblers beat Cincinnati in overtime, 60-58. Let's see, 1991, Sergei Bubka pole vaulted a world record, 6.12 meters. Wayne Gretzky in 1994 set the NHL record with 802 goals scored, passing Gordie Howe. Gretzky ended with like 894. Happy birthdays today. 1929, Roger Bannister, the first to go under 4 minutes in 1954 at Oxford. He was born in Harrow, England. This date, 1929, passed away a couple years ago. 1954, happy birthday, Gina Auriemma, the Connecticut Huskies, Lady Huskies coach. He was born in Montella, Italy, 1954. In 1955, Moses Malone was born. The NBA Hall of Fame center passed away in 2015. All right, let's do our Auto Concepts Performance of the Week. All right, so for the next, moving forward, until we have no sports, we want your nominations for something your kids did, something you did, something a neighbor did. Let's get your nominations in Auto Concepts Performance of the Week. This week, your winner, well, it's my daughter, my little 22-year-old who went potty in the big girl potty for the first time. Congratulations. Yep, she did it Saturday night. That's our Auto Concepts Performance of the Week, is my 22-month-old pottying in the big girl potty for the first time. How about that? Oh, here we go.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
All right, had a great time talking to Sean Ryan, the Montana Tech golf coach. Appreciate him joining us. Also, Peyton Ferris joining us from her home in quarantine in Twin Bridges. She's okay, though. No symptoms. She just self-quarantined. She got back from Spain. If you missed any of our interviews and want to hear them again, especially the one with Peyton, it's interesting. Go to jasonwalkershow.com. We'll have it posted up here in a little bit. All right, tomorrow, Katie Lynn Krause, Miss Rodeo Montana, will be in studio. Yes, she is COVID-free, and so am I. So we're going to have her in studio. Looking forward to hearing from her. Have yourself a great, great Monday. And again, order out. Motherlode, Green Meadow, Cafe Zydeco. Well, if you're a member at Green Meadow, get signed up. Cafe Zydeco, Dinner's Done Right. Curbside delivery. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have yourself a fantastic Monday. And good night.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company.